the karmic retribution of harsh speech, and the path to liberation. Welcome to today's deep dive. To be honest, the Buddhist scripture we are diving into today will absolutely blow your mind. It is not just a story about a miraculous event in an ancient forest. It is a shocking reality check about just how heavy the words we speak every single day truly are. We are going to break down this dramatic, twist-filled story step by step to see how ancient wisdom accurately predicted the raw power of our daily speech. Are you ready to uncover this massive mystery spanning past and present lifetimes? Let us go. Part E, a miraculous encounter in the forest. Alright. Let's look at what this puzzle is all about. What could possibly connect a group of ruthless hunters, a pack of trapped wild beasts, and a mysterious, dazzling light in the dead of night? These three elements sound completely unrelated, but they have long been tightly bound together by an invisible thread of karma. To untangle this knot, we must first travel through time back to a forest in ancient India. Picture this incredibly tense scene in a massive forest near the ancient Indian city of Shravasti. A group of hunters is setting up an inescapable net. The air is thick with a murderous aura, and the cries of trapped wild animals echo everywhere. Just as these animals are on the brink of death and the hunters are about to strike the fatal blow, the Buddha, the world-honored one, suddenly appears in the forest. What is even more magical is that the moment these bloodthirsty hunters see the Buddha from afar, an indescribable, massive wave of joy suddenly wells up in their hearts. They instantly drop their weapons, walk up to the Buddha with deep reverence, and bow prostrate at his feet. What happens next feels like it is on fast forward. First, they see the Buddha and give rise to a joyful heart. Second, the Buddha is incredibly skillful. Instead of giving them a long, tedious lecture on confusing theories, he instantly sees through the hunter's spiritual capacity and gives them perfectly customized teachings. This approach is pure genius. Third, the hunters listen and experience an instant epiphany, stepping right into the stage of Sotapanna stream enter. This means they have already placed one foot across the threshold of liberation, joining the ranks of the noble ones. Right after, they cannot wait to beg the Buddha to let them renounce the worldly life and receive ordination. In response to their requests, the Buddha uses a very special and direct method known as Ahi Bhikkhu Kam. O Bhikkhu, don't underestimate these few simple words. They carry immense power. The moment the Buddha speaks them, the hunters instantly complete their ordination ritual. What's even wilder is that these men, who were killing animals just moments before, practice with intense dedication after becoming monks. In the end, they completely eradicate all mental defilements and attain the state of arhat, achieving total liberation. Talk about a massive plot twist, but wait. We can't forget about the other main characters present at the scene, the wild beasts trapped in the net. Even though these animals couldn't understand the Buddha's teachings, facing extreme terror and imminent death, they also experienced a profound sense of joy upon seeing the Buddha. Honestly, to have such pure joy at the literal boundary of life and death is nothing short of incredible. And it was precisely because of this pure, joyful mind that after these beasts died, they miraculously skipped the ongoing suffering of the animal realm and were instantly reborn into the heavenly realm. This brings us to our second part. Part R, the midnight miracle at Jetavana. The story takes a very interesting turn during the night. The scene shifts to the supernatural heavenly realm. The newly ascended David's heavenly beings, who were wild beasts just a moment ago, immediately take a series of highly organized actions. First, according to heavenly custom, David performed 3 reflections to see where they came from. When they checked their past while, they realized that just a moment ago, they were animals about to be roasted and eaten, and they were safe simply because their hearts swelled with joy upon seeing the Buddha. They immediately decide to repay the favor. They dress themselves in magnificent heavenly attire, put on necklaces and earrings, gather handfuls of heavenly flowers like Utpala and Mandarava, and prepare to descend to the human world. Imagine the visual impact of this scene. The Jetavana monastery at midnight is supposed to be pitch black. Yet, the moment this group of Davids descends, the intense light radiating from their bodies instantly illuminates the entire compound, making it as bright as broad daylight and filling it with a sacred atmosphere. They respectfully offer flowers to the Buddha. The Buddha preaches the Dhamma to them. And finally, these Devas return to heaven satisfied, bearing the fruits of enlightenment. Part 3, inquiring into the mysterious karma. The next morning brings us to part 3. The monks who had been staying up all night practicing saw that extravagant light, and they naturally woke up with a head full of questions. They approached the Buddha with great awe and asked, "World-honored one, what kind of supreme deity descended last night to illuminate the entire monastery so brilliantly? Was it Brahma? Was it Sakra, the Lord of Devas? Or was it one of the four heavenly kings?" After all, in their minds, only the highest tier deities could emit such a brilliant light. It was a very logical guess. Right, yet the Buddha's reply caught everyone completely off guard. The Buddha calmly replied, "It was none of them. Do you remember those wild beasts trapped in the forest yesterday?" Everyone answered, "Yes, we remember." Then the Buddha revealed the mystery. Those heavenly beings who were radiating thousands of rays of light last night were the very same pathetic, terrified wild beasts from yesterday. The contrast is mind-blowing. The most sacred light came from the lowest tier of animals. Now, while the riddle was solved, the monks' brains were working in overdrive. They went on to ask the most core question: why did those people become hunters who commit the sin of killing in the first place? And why did those other souls fall into the animal realm to become wild beasts? Most paradoxically, since their negative karma was so heavy, why did they happen to give rise to such great joy the moment they met the Buddha, and even achieved instant liberation? To answer this grand question, the Buddha takes us into part 4. Part C, the backstory from the era of Kassapa Buddha. What follows is perhaps the most jaw-dropping twist in the entire story. The Buddha turns back the clock to the ancient era of Kassapa Buddha. He reveals to everyone that the hunters and the beasts turned David were not hunters, were animals at all in their past lives. In fact, they were all ordained monks practicing and keeping precepts together in the exact same monastic community. Wow, that is truly hard to believe, isn't it? Former spiritual companions and Dharma brothers turned into a brutal relationship of the hunter and the hunted in this lifetime. What on earth happened in between? Let's look at this cause and effect relationship, which displays the workings of karma in vivid detail. Past action era of Kassapa Buddha, present retribution era of S. Shakyamuni Buddha insulted others as low-born people reborn into the lowest strata of society, mocked others as evil. Life-taking hunters became hunters who must kill to make a living, cursed others as dumb animals and beasts, solidly dropped into the anim. Our realm is trapped beasts. Those toxic words they carelessly spat out in the past became their tragic physical reality in this lifetime. Word for word, this brings us to our final session. Part 2, Karmic Retribution and Final Liberation. Looking at this, you might find it highly contradictory. How did they all end up liberated in the end? This actually reveals the dual nature of karma. Retribution doesn't work like an accounting ledger where positives and negatives simply cancel each other out. Different karmic seeds mature independently. Look at them. Because of their toxic and harsh speech, their negative karma forced them to taste every bit of bitterness in the cycle of samsara. However, the positive karma they accumulated from ordaining, practicing, and restraining their senses in their past life was absolutely not in vain. That seed of goodness was always there. The moment they encountered Shakyamuni Buddha in this life, that incredibly powerful positive karma was instantly ignited, causing them to experience immense joy, utterly sever their defilements, and secure their ticket to liberation. Conclusion: this ancient scripture delivers a massive wake-up call to us modern folk. It vividly illustrates just how destructive harsh speech can be. We often think, oh, it's just talking. Once the words are out, they rag on, I am just venting. But we are wrong. Those casual, sarcastic comments and insults we throw around are actually high-energy construction materials. They never just disappear after we say them. Instead, in a dimension we cannot see, they are building your future reality, brick by brick. At the end of our discussion today, I want to invite everyone to ask themselves a question. Since we now know that every single word you speak is a karmic seed for your future life, what kind of reality are you building for yourself with your words today? Are you building a pure land filled with wisdom and light, or a cage filled with suffering and conflict? I hope today's sharing brings you some fresh perspective. See you next time.